Good morning, everybody. Welcome, and today we're going to be building this Chaos Space Marine statue. We're going to be using the Aspiring Champion from the Chaos Space Marines box that I have left over, and we're also going to be using some XPS foam. So, without further ado, let's get started. And let's get started by gluing together 2 sheets, and then cutting out a 40 by 40 millimeter base. And then, once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and sort of carve out some details on it. And what I'm doing today for this is cutting out a sort of indent, I guess, or like a paneling. You know how on a door, on the front door, you've got that sort of cutout paneling in it? We're kind of going to do that, where we're going to take out the middle and leave some overhangs up top and on the bottom. I think it looks pretty cool. You can do some damage in there too, you know. If you're going to use a spray can like I am, you can hold it a little close so that it melts the foam. And it honestly creates a pretty cool look to it. You know, it looks damaged. It looks like it's some brick and stuff like that. And it's just an overall nice look to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We're going to do that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to spray paint this bad boy using some black spray paint. And then we're also going to glue this Space Marine on top. Well, I'm going to glue it. You can glue it. Or you can put magnets in there if you want to remove it at some point, you know. Maybe you change your mind later on and you actually want to use that Space Marine as a troop. You can do that. You can go ahead and just pop them off and repaint them. Or build an army based around this paint scheme or whatever paint scheme you're using. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever floats your boat, you know. It's your models. It's whatever you want to do with it. This is just what I want to do with it. I'm gluing it down with some strong glue because honestly, I'm not going to use it. But yeah. So once we're done with that step, we're going to move on to doing an xenofold, whatever the hell, what is it called? The highlight with the white spray paint. We're going to do that. And then we're going to move on to the actual airbrushing. Now this is a good spot to do to practice your airbrushing, you know, maybe it's your first time airbrushing, or you're just not that good at it. This is a good spot to do it. Because this is sort of I guess it's more of a throwaway model than something that you actually want to use for an army. You know, if you mess up your Primaris captain or whatever, you know, you're going to be pretty mad about that. But if you do this here on a piece of terrain that, frankly, if you wanted to change it, or if it just turned out not the best, you know what I mean? You're not entering a competition with this, so, you know, take some practice, do some practice, and learn your airbrush. That's a good spot to learn it. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and paint this. We're going to be using Caliban Green for the first base layer, and then we're going to do a mix of Morghast's Bone and Caliban Green in 2 other layers, going from a 3-to-1 or a 6-to-1 to a 3-to-1 ratio of Caliban Green to Morghast's Bone, creating a sort of lighter green to it, because we're going after the Statue of Liberty color. You know, I kind of want this to have that sort of I don't know what kind of green it is. It's not like a forest green, and it's sort of a metallic green, like it's a copper oxide, you know what I mean? But yeah, and frankly, took some inspiration here, and we're gonna be. Well, this is coming from a spot of looking at the rule book and saying, hey, you know, why do the Space Marines get this cool Why do the Space Marines get these cool statues, you know? They get a +1 to leadership for a statue, and, you know, nobody else gets that. Why do the Space Marines get that? So, let's give some Chaos Space Marines some love. Maybe we'll do some Xenos. I think one of the next projects we're going to be doing is some more objective markers. And I think it's going to be some Tyranid objective markers. I think that's going to look cool. I got some cool ideas for that. And yeah. And then now let's move on to doing some shading or some washes on this. And you can use Morghast's Bone, Agrath's Earthshade. You can also use Nuln Oil, but I think Agrath's Earthshade gives it a brown. Well, it gives it a brown tone to it and gives it more of a dirty feel. Which is kind of what we're going for, because this is kind of an old statue. Something that, you know, isn't as new, and is all oxidized and all kind of beat up and blown up. Well, not necessarily blown up, but damaged and all that. Which is what we did with the front here, where we kind of sprayed it a little close. And I think it looks pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy with how it turns out. And yeah, we're just gonna put a lot. We're gonna put a lot of it on top because, frankly, I think that's where a lot of dirt's gonna catch, as well as the bottom there, and that inside there. Give it a little bit of a darkness. And I think honestly, this is turning out pretty cool. If you wanted to add some dirt, some Vallejo weathering paste or weathering dust or whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that. You know, practice basing. Do whatever you want, honestly. I couldn't care. It's your models, you know what I mean? But yeah, so let's finish up the shading and then we will be done. So I think in 3, 2, 1, we are moving on. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have finished the Chaos Space Marine. It is looking pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. And honestly, that's honestly a really good paint job. I would use that in a regular game. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you all in 2 weeks with probably some Tyranid something. I don't know yet. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.